1920s. Westward West, a small airline called Pan Am starts with one mail plane and one pilot with a big dream. The goal is clear: conquer the skies, but everyone's laughing at them. People are saying small planes can't fly that far. Every flight is a gamble. Engine failure, bad weather, unknown routes. But Pan Am keeps pushing. Investors are hesitant, money is short, the team is fighting. Each successful flight gets them noticed. And American Airlines is watching closely because they want to dominate the domestic skies. Southwest is still a dream on paper. Every flight counts. Every mile flown is a battle. Pan Am wins small contracts. Their mail service grows. Confidence rises. But now rival airlines are beginning to plan bigger planes and faster schedules. If Pan Am wants to survive, they must innovate or die. The first test flight for passengers arrives. Heartbeats race. Can they do it? The answer is in the sky. The risk and the reward, they're balanced on a thin wire. 1930s, 40s, American Airlines tries something new. Bigger planes, more routes. Pan Am responds with international flights. The competition is fierce. Investors are screaming for profits. Pilots are pushing the limits. Fuel costs are climbing. Storms are threatening flights. Air traffic is growing chaotic. And Southwest is still waiting in the wings, learning fast. Each airline is watching the other. They're hiding their rival plans. A small mistake can cause bankruptcy. The stakes are life and death. Each airline is fighting to attract passengers, secure contracts, and stay alive. Innovation becomes survival. Speed, safety, and reliability are the keys to victory. America's skies are the battleground. This is the story of the airlines. The best era of aviation history, the 1950s and 60s. Jet planes arrive. Pan Am invests heavily. American Airlines follows with domestic jets. The world was changing fast. International routes expanded. Airports filled with travelers. Profits grew, but so did tension. This new technology was fragile. One engine failure, one wrong move, and disaster would strike. Pilots trained harder, mechanics worked nonstop. Each flight became an adrenaline test. Southwest observed quietly, learning from their mistakes. But when the airlines began to face sabotage, political pressure, and government regulations, they knew they had to innovate or die trying. This is the story of how money, risk, and innovation collided in the skies. This is the story of the airlines. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. The 1970s, 80s, oil crisis hits hard. Ticket prices spike. Passengers complain. Airlines cut costs. Employees strike. Management fights internally. Some executives betray their rivals for advantage. Southwest comes in as a rule breaker. Their cheap fares attract a whole new generation of passengers. Pan Am struggles. American Airlines makes some big changes. Competition grows. The airlines fight back. They tighten their flight schedules. They jam-pack planes full of passengers. Every decision counts. Every flight can mean profit or disaster. The airlines gamble with lives and money. Stress is everywhere. Survival is not guaranteed. Every flight is tense. Every boardroom meeting is a battle. And in the middle of it all, one man, Herb Kelleher, sits back and smiles. He knows his airline will survive because he's already turned a profit. Welcome to the most chaotic decade in aviation history, the 1980s and 90s. When the U.S. airline industry was deregulated, competition exploded. More than 60 new routes were opened up between 1980 and 1985, connecting small towns and cities across the country. Fares dropped, but so did the quality of service as airlines merged, went bankrupt, or were bought out. And no airline was safe. In this period, Pan Am, the world's largest airline, faced bankruptcy. American Airlines fought to dominate the industry. Southwest Airlines thrived by offering low-cost flights to vacation destinations. Pilots and staff at these airlines lived in constant uncertainty as companies went bust and were bought out. Investors panicked as the value of their stocks plummeted. But some airlines adapted and survived. They opened new hubs in Dallas, Chicago, and Atlanta, 3 of the 5 busiest airports in the world. The pressure was immense. If they didn't move fast, they would lose everything, and so the race was on. This was a high-stakes game of chicken where strategy, timing, and courage decided the winners and losers. And in the end, only one airline would be left standing. What? Did I say the 1980s and 90s? I meant the 2010s. Welcome to the next episode of Airline Crisis. 2000s. Pan Am merges into history. American Airlines dominates domestic and global routes. Southwest rewrites the rules and becomes America's most beloved airline. Jet technology transforms the way we fly. Flight routes connect new cities. Airports become hubs of international travel. And in the midst of all this change, airline legends live on. In textbooks, stories, and in the skies, survivors remember every battle, every risk they took to build these airlines from the ground up. Innovation, strategy, and courage are their legacy. From the early days of small mail planes to the global giants of today, each airline's journey is a story worth telling. The sky is the story of U.S. aviation, and as long as there are flights taking off and landing, the adventure continues. Risk, action, and suspense. It's all in a day's work for an airline pilot. History is written in the clouds.